to the channel, survivors. In today's video, we've got a hot topic, and I mean a steamy hot topic for you guys that is going around the Ark Ascended community, and that is related to cryopods. Are you for cryopods coming to the game officially? Are you against cryopods coming to the game? Should cryopods deserve some sort of change or optimization, or strictly do you want them to be the exact same how they were when they left Ark Survival Evolved? And no matter which side of the argument you end up on for cryopods, I just wanted to do a big giant shout out here to all of you guys out there that are continuously supporting my content and supporting me as a creator, whether that's going to be showing up to my live streams, viewing and liking my videos, simply just subscribing here to the channel, you name it. I just wanted to thank you guys so much. It means the world to me, and I understand that content might seem a little bit lackluster as of right now when it comes to live streams or even my daily videos, as I've been feeling really under the weather between myself, my wife, and my son. We've been going through kind of like a sick spell here going into the winter. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for all the love and the support, and let's get back to the video. So all of this cryopod drama has officially started from the official Ark Survival Ascended Discord. If you guys didn't see the announcement late yesterday about 7 p.m. my time, they dropped an announcement stating that the public test realms for Ark Survival Ascended were officially live. The announcement showcased 3 different servers. The first 2 were EU PvP Survival of the Fittest servers. These are going to be just strictly survival of the fittest, and if you guys want to participate in, you can only do so via the Steam client. You cannot participate if you are playing Ark Survival Ascended on the console versions, at least not at the time of recording this video. I really hope going forward that they find a way to incorporate the console players, because again, this just gives them the ability to test things out, see how the game mode is performing, and potentially make optimizations or changes necessary before the game mode officially goes live, which, if you don't know and you haven't watched my video from yesterday, that is set to debut on December 20th. And I'm really hoping that these public test realms really iron out the game mode for when it does become available, because I myself am waiting until the 20th to jump in and play it live with you guys for the very first time. And now, in addition to the announcements of the 3 public test servers going live, they also added a public test realm category in the official Discord. From here, there is a channel called PTR Patch Notes, and that is where they did the announcement at the exact same time they announced the servers going live. And the announcement states, Survival of the Fittest is live, Cryopod design is still under development, specifically regarding portability. However, we wanted to get the dino storage aspect into this PTR, basically public test realm. 1, cryopods and cryofridges are now level 50 unlockable engrams. When a cryofridge is placed, they take up to 5 minutes to activate. Cryopods can only be released within range of an activated cryofridge, which is currently set to 3,500. And then for PvP only, cryopods cannot be released if there are any enemies nearby, again set at that 3,500 range. Dinos cannot be cryopoded if damaged within 60 seconds, and then Dino's mating cooldown will now tick correctly within inside of a cryopod. Yeah, some pretty big changes to cryopods, and as you would expect, everybody lost their mind. We've got several different teams forming, whether you're for cryopods, against cryopods, maybe you like the changes but you don't like one of the changes, you name it, everybody is just scattered across the board when it relates to the cryopod topic. And as far as my take goes on it, I'm kind of sitting here with several different buckets, right? Bucket number 1, let's talk about PvP. When it comes to PvP in Ark Survival Evolved and now Ark Survival Ascended, I honestly think it makes sense for these changes, right? If we look back at Ark Survival Evolved, it'd be right before, like leading up to its, end of life, and how cryopods were being used, how the nature of PvP was being played, I think it took away a lot of the aspects of the game that the developers really didn't want and really didn't aim for. I think it became very easy for somebody to just run up onto a base somewhere, in the world, throw down a bunch of cryopods, all of a sudden you've got a bunch of dinos that you can just then take over and raid that base. Or the same thing goes with you sneaking your way into a base and then dropping cryopods, and boom, you immediately got dinos already inside. Either way you look at it, I definitely think that it kind of changed the game, and it seems like Wildcard and a lot actually of players also didn't like the way it turned out. So I think that's going to be where I'm kind of sitting for PvP. I am actually for these individual changes. However, though, when it comes to PvE, I feel a little bit different because there's not a super competitive nature to it, or a fairness, if you will, like there is in PvP. I think it kind of changes my perspective a little bit, because a lot of it does boil down to quality of life and how much time a person has to play, whether that person is solo or in a small tribe or a large tribe, you name it. I mean, the list goes on of different scenarios you can paint for PvE players, and because of that, it kind of leads me to feel a little bit let down about these changes for these cryopods, because when it comes to Ark and wildcard making changes, a lot of times they don't really separate the two between PvP and PvE. They kind of just set one standard that normally is good for PvP, or what they think or what they want for PvP, and then it just unfortunately gets tacked on to here for PvE. So me personally, I would much rather see less control on cryopods, less of like having to be around a cryo fridge, all that sort of nature, or at least maybe just giving players the ability to control what they want on PvE a little bit more, especially when it comes to official servers. Now, the third bucket here is kind of a mixed bag when it comes to me being a OG Ark Survival Evolved player. And I kind of mentioned this in a previously video I talked about long before Ark Survival Ascended even was launched, but either way, this third bucket here is kind of a mixed bag for me. As a OG Ark player, I really strive for a, hardcore survival experience. I want to be able to feel like I'm surviving in the game. I want to make sure that I am, doing the necessary steps as the game has intended, utilizing its engrams, right? I want to make sure that every single engram at every single level is like a stepping stone towards a higher goal, aka, just to give you an example, this is unrelated to cryopods, but to give you an example, you can't craft this ascended saddle via this blueprint inside this machine because it simply doesn't have enough slots open, and that, my friends, is the reason why you would want to get a tech replicator, or the next version or the next step up of that specific machine, or crafting bench. Sorry about the rambling here. To tie it back into cryopods and how this relates is, I think players are starting to generate a different version of Ark Survival Ascended, and I think that they're starting to steer away from the way the game was intentionally designed by wildcard themselves. We can see that strictly due to the changes that they have changed. I think they're trying to really hone in on what they perceive and what cryopods' role to be inside of Ark Survival Ascended, and potentially even Ark 2 in the future. It looks like their intentions based on these changes are more focused around dino storage and about trying to make it a little bit more convenient for players to not have a bunch of dinos just spread out through their entire base. Not only does it look terrible and people would rather and prefer not to have that, but it also allows them for to create less lag on the individual server, whether that being official or privately played. Just in general, I think it's just good changes overall, and it's pushing cryopods more into what they expect them to be for Ark Survival Ascended. Again, this could just be purely my nostalgia talking and my OG Ark experience, and me being a survival gamer looking for a more harder experience. Either way, I just wanted to get the information out there and open up the floor for discussion for you guys. Let me know down below in the comments which bucket you fall into, or maybe you have your brand new bucket that you guys want to pitch to me down below as well. Either way here, I'm here for it. Let's hash it out, and let's hope that Wildcard Studios can make the right decision for when it officially launches in the live version of the game. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on the channel for everything Ark Survival Ascended and beyond. And with that being said, as always, guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all on the next one.